Hi everyone, welcome to Hands-On Games. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at B-17, Queen of the Skies. Alright, so I'm going to have everyone follow along, ride shotgun with me as we follow the crew of the Miss Annette and her 10th mission here in World War II. We're heading to the Rotterdam shipyard for this mission. We've had a rough go of it recently. We have a couple new crew members, a new bombardier, Lieutenant Smith, a new starboard waist gunner, Sergeant Fodder. We've already lost 3 starboard waist gunners so far. We're hoping for better luck for Sergeant Fodder moving forward. So we have our mission record all set to go. We'll complete that when the mission's done. Our mission chart is also filled out. Miss Annette, 10th mission. 10th for this bomber. We're going over Rotterdam and we're attacking the shipyard. Next thing we need to do, and if you want to know how I'm following along, I've made a B-17 Queen of the Skies gameplay aid that I'll post on Board Game Geek at some point. But right now this is helping me figure out all the next steps, although after a few gameplays you do get this memorized. So now that we know where we're going, we need to roll for the position of our bomber on this flight. The roll is an 8. We're going to be in the middle, which is good. And we're going to roll for squadron position, and we're also in the middle, which is good. We flip this over, we take a look at Rotterdam. It's telling us that we're going to have some good help from our fighter cover. And we are going into Zone 4 for this bombing run, the first time that I have been asked to venture as deep into Zone 4 during my time with this game. The good news is that we will still have fighter cover through Zones 2, 3, and 4. It's not until the further zones that you lose fighter cover, so we're hoping for good fighter cover for this mission. Well, now that we know where we're going and we know what the expectations are, we start flying. So the B-17 is going to move out of the Air Force Base into Zone 1. There's going to be no German fighter activity in Zone 1, so we head into Zone 2. Now that we're in Zone 2, we are going to roll for our fighter cover. 1 to 2 is poor, 3 to 4 is fair, and 5 to 6 is good. We roll a 4, it's going to be fair fighter cover in Zone 2. Now we're going to roll for the number of waves we're going to expect, or we're going to encounter in Zone 2. We roll a 6, modified by the -2. It gives us a 4. We're going to encounter 1 wave of fighters in Zone 2. I just make a note of that on the mission chart. And the next step is to find out what this wave is going to look like. We roll a 36. That tells us there's no attackers in this wave, that the fighters are driven off by other B-17s. Great news for us. So we make it through Zone 2 unscathed. We're making our way to Rotterdam. Make a slight left turn into Zone 3. Now in Zone 3, same thing. We have to figure out what our fighter cover is going to be like. We roll a 2. That means we're going to have poor fighter coverage in Zone 2, so we're hoping for not a lot of waves from Zone 2. We're still not in the target zone, so we're still rolling on this upper chart. It tells us we're going to have 4 minus 1, which is a 3, which is 1 wave, again, of German fighters coming at us. We roll for the attacking fighter wave. It's a 41. We're going to have a single 109 at 12 high. So we take a 109. Mark it at 12 o'clock high. This would be 12 o'clock medium, this would be 12 o'clock low. So it's marked at 12 high. Hopefully our fighter coverage will get rid of him. We're rolling on this poor coverage. Only a 5 or 6 will drive this ME-109 away. We rolled a 3, so he is in play. So at 12 o'clock high, we consult this chart right here. Our top turret and nose can both fire at him. So here's our nose gun, we mark it there. Here's our top turret. We mark him. On the mission chart, we have to mark off the ammo used, top turret and nose, and we fire on that plane. Only a 6 for each of these guns is going to hit. So first the nose, no hit, and now the top turret, no hit. So he's going to make an attack. Now for him to hit us, we consult this chart, which is a 12 o'clock high, a 5 or a 6 that ME-109 is going to hit us with some shells, at least one. He rolls a 1, he does not hit us. If an attacking plane does not hit us, they go back into the pile over here, they are out of play. So we just survived the wave here in zone 3. So now we make our way into zone 4. Things get a little different now. This is our target zone. This is where we're making our bombing run. But before we do that, first of all, we got to determine the weather. The weather, according to the chart, on a roll of 8 is good. Excellent. But now we have to deal with the fighters. Let's see how many waves of fighters they're throwing at us. I rolled a 2 on chart B2 for the number of German fighter waves in designated target zone. That tells us there's going to be 1 wave of fighters coming at us. Again, we're getting off pretty good here. I think our new crew members were bringing us good luck. So this 1 wave, what's it going to be? I rolled a 43. 43 tells us, you know what? I forgot to roll for what the, so hold on. I'm going to hold that 43. That's still the wave, but before I rolled for that wave, I forgot to roll for what? That's right, fighter cover. Rolled a 3. It's going to be fair coverage in zone 4. Now back to the 43. We have a 190 at 12 o'clock high. We have 2 109s. 1 at 130 level. And 1 at 3 o'clock level. Now we're going to see how our fighters do with our fair fighter cover defense, driving them off. Best we can hope for is a 5 or a 6, which will ward off 2 of them on this first attack run. We get a 2, which tells us nothing. Well, it tells us something, but it tells us that our fighter coverage didn't help at all. We have to deal with all 3 of these fighters, and we need to get them out of here with our guns and with our luck. So, the plane at 12 o'clock high is concerning. Top turret and nose will take shots at him at 12 o'clock high. So nose and top turret take care of their ammo. Now at 130 level, starboard cheek gun, fire at him. And at 3 o'clock level, our top turret is firing already at the 12 o'clock high, but you know what, we're going to switch that one. He has better chances of hitting this guy, so he's going to fire over here instead. Ball turret can also fire at the 130 level. So mark off that. And finally, oh wait, sorry. Ball turret goes to 3 o'clock, as does top turret. So, sorry, I put those on the wrong plane. So, ball turret, 3 o'clock level, top turret, 3 o'clock level, and starboard waist. Our new starboard waist gunner will also be firing over here. So, starting here at the nose, he needs a 6 to get a hit. He does not. And I forgot to mark off the starboard waist ammo. And top turret and ball turret are marked. Okay. So over here, so he's gonna get a free shot at us. This guy at 130 level, starboard cheek. It requires a 6 here to get a hit. Does not. Finally, ball turret at 3 o'clock level. A 5 or a 6 will hit this 190. He misses. Starboard waist at 3 o'clock level. Needs a 6. Does not get it. And the top turrets at 3 o'clock level. Needs a 5 or a 6. No hit. Bad luck for the crew. Alright, we need to start resolving attacks now. This plane at 12 o'clock high, he needs a 5 or a 6 to hit. He does not. He is out. The plane at 130 level needs a 5 or a 6 to hit. Does not get it. He is out. And finally, 3 o'clock level. Let's see if we can get some more luck. A 4, 5, or 6 is a hit. And he gets a hit. Alright, so one plane will get a hit on us. So now we determine how many shell hits from that plane. I roll a 7. It tells us at 3 o'clock only 1. 7's a good roll in this case. So 1 hit. So I mark it here. 1 hit from 3 o'clock level. And now we determine what the hit was. We go to this chart, attack from 3 o'clock level, roll 2d6, get a 7. Superficial damage. Great. So, no worse for the wear. Now, he does come around for another attack. So we have to determine where he comes from on the second pass. He can make another one after this if he's lucky enough. He comes in from 1030 level. Put him back up here. Who's going to shoot at him at 1030 level? It's going to be the port cheek gun. That's our only option. Port cheek right here. He's going to take a shot. He needs to roll a 6 to get a hit. He does. He gets a hit. What happens? Rolling on this table, 1 to 2 or 3 to 4, the fighter's going to keep attacking at reduced strength and then break off. Or 5 or 6, it's a kill. It's a 3. So he is now FBOA. So fighter breaks off attack -2 after this attack. So he still gets a chance to attack now that we didn't knock him out of the sky. But his die roll is -2. It's a 6 -2 is 4. From the 1030 position, he needed to roll a 5 or a 6. He didn't get it. However, I'm forgetting a rule. Anytime you roll a true 6, it's a hit. So it doesn't matter that he had this -2 modifier. It's still a hit. He nailed us with some shells. Let's find out how many from the 1030 position. We rolled a 4. That's 2 shell hits. So now we have 2 hits from 1030 level. Let's find out what those hits are. We flip the page. We go to attack from 1030 level. We rolled a 4, which is superficial damage. Excellent. And the second hit, we rolled an 8. Starboard wing. All right. So our starboard wing has taken a hit. We go to the blue chart here, and we're going to roll on the wing chart for that 1 shell hit. I'm going to re-roll since it went off the board. 9. Engines. Uh-oh. So we have to roll 1d6. We get a 2. Let's see. We rolled a 2 on the starboard wing. Starboard wing 1 to 3. The number 3 engine was hit. Let's see. And so we note that down. Number 3 engine. Okay, sorry. Actually, now that we know it's the number 3 engine, we roll 1d again to find out what kind of damage. Ooh, we got a 6. Okay, that means the oil tank was hit. Okay, now we're rolling down here on note number E. Now that we know the starboard wing has an oil tank hit, we roll a 2, and we have an engine fire. So we note engine fire. We have a little counter here for engine fire on engine number 3. Put it here on the placement board. And now we have to try to put out that fire. So each engine has 2 extinguisher charges per mission. We're going to roll 1 die. 1 die. If we roll a 1 to 4, the fire is out. 5 to 6, fire continues, and try again. If the second try fails, the crew must immediately bail out according to table G6. So here we go. 1 to 4, we put the fire out. We did. So fire's out, and we can remove the engine fire token. Okay, so engine number 3 is out, but the good news is, since we're in the target zone, we're going to be able to drop our bombs, make our bombing run, and stay in formation, which is huge in this game. You do not want to be stuck out of formation. So engine number 3 is out after that fire. And we still have this fighter making a second run at us. Now remember, this was a third run at us. This was his second run. He still has this modifier. He is passing from the front. Our tail gunner is going to get a chance on a roll of 6 to hit him. He doesn't. So he is going to come at us one more time. Last time, successive attack, his second successive attack at 1030 level. Same position again. Figures he had luck the first time, he'll try it again at 1030 level. Our shaken crew can still take a shot at him with the port cheek gun. Needs a roll of 6. Does not get it. His attack roll is a 4, modified to 2. He does not hit us, and this dramatic event is over. So 1 engine down. We took care of the cover fire. Now we get to deal with flak. So we're going to check for flak. So we're going to roll to see if it's no flak, light flak, medium, or heavy. We roll a 4. That tells us there's medium flak. We roll again on the flak table. We're going to see if the flak hit us or misses us. A roll of 6 on the medium chart is a miss. So we made it through the medium flak. Now we're going to make our bombing run. We are going to take a look at the bomb run, and being on target or off target is simply a roll on this chart. We roll 1 die. We roll a 4, tells us we are on target. And now that we know we are on target with our 3-engine aircraft, we're going to roll on this table to find out the results of what percentage of our bombs hit the target. We roll a 4, that tells us 30%, which is excellent actually. So 30% of the bombs made it on the target. That's our bombing run. Not a lot of drama involved with the bombing run, but you know, first half of our mission completed. Now we need to get this plane back. So we're going to turn her around. And the good news is, per the normal rules, we don't have to worry about flak. I know some people have modified the game to also deal with flak when they're turning tail and heading home, but not in the normal rules, so we're playing by the book. So turning around, heading for home, but we do have to deal with fighters again. So, on our way back in Zone 4, what's fighter coverage look like? It's good. Good news for the Missinette. Alright, let's see how many attacking waves we're going to have. We're still in the target zone, so we're rolling on the second chart there. We get a 4, no modification, which tells us we have 2 waves to deal with. Those 2 waves are going to be a 55 and a 23. Alright, starting with 55, we have a 190 at 12 o'clock low. We have 3 109s, 12 o'clock level. We have another one at 12 o'clock high, and another one at 1030 level. All right, let's see what our fighter coverage does with this. We're hoping for a high roll, obviously. If we can get a 5 or a 6, we can get 3 out of those 4 out of here. We get a 1. Again, terrible. So that's going to allow us to remove 1 of these fighters for this first wave, but none for the successive phases. So we're going to go ahead and remove the 12 o'clock low. All right, so first of all, placement of the machine gun counters for the 1030 level is going to be our port cheek gun. Port cheek, right here. Mark that off. Then we've got the 12 o'clock high, top turret, and we're just going to leave the top turret firing at him, and the nose will fire at the other one. So top turret, and at the 12 o'clock level, the nose. So nose, top turret. All right, each of these requires a 6 to hit. So first the port cheek gun does not hit, the nose gun does not hit, and the top turret. Top turret Hits. All right, so we have one hit. So these guys did not hit. We're hoping for a kill. Hoping for a kill. We rolled a 6. All right. Top turret gets a kill. So this guy's out. Sorry. This is how I usually do it. Okay. So let's see. Top turret is manned by our engineer, I believe. So engineer gets a kill. Takes out a 109. All right, these guys are still going to attack us though, and they only need a 5 or a 6, both of them, for a hit. So first the one from 1030 gets a hit, and the one coming in the nose doesn't. At 12 o'clock doesn't. So he hits us. How bad did he hit us? Let's find out. An 8 tells us one hit. So one hit from 1030 level tells us that 1030 level nose. He hit our nose. So we go to the nose table. We roll on that table and we get a 7. Superficial damage. Excellent. So he's going to come around though. Our tail gunner is going to get a shot. Oh, tail gunner gets a hit. Tail gunner only a fighter damage and breaks off after this attack, -2. This is still part of the same attack. This is not the successive attack, so the way I play it is he is out. So tail gunner drives him off. Great job. Okay, so that's it for the first wave heading out of Rotterdam. We have the second wave to deal with, which was the 23. So let's see what we have to deal with now with the 23. 3 190s, 12 high, 3 level, 3 high. 12 high. 3 level. And 3 high. We know that our fighter coverage is good. We're going to roll on the fighter cover defense table. We roll a 3. That tells us 2 from the first attack and 1 from successive attacks are driven away. So we're taking away this one coming in at 12 o'clock high, and we're also taking away the one coming in at 3 o'clock level, because the chances are the same. Nope, we got more guns. So, nope, at high. So 3 o'clock high, those 2 guys are gone. We still have to deal with this guy at 3 o'clock level. We're going to throw our top and ball turrets at him. Ball turret. Top turret. As well as our starboard waist gun. Ammo's marked off. We're going to take our shots. The ball turret at 3 o'clock level for FW 190 needs a 5 or a 6 to hit. Nope, same for the top. All right, top turret does get a hit. What happens with the top turret? It's a kill. Excellent. So our engineer just got his second kill, a 190. It's the first time I've had one gunner take out 2 planes in one mission, I believe. Checking, checking, checking. Yes, it is. Excellent. So we still use the ammo from the starboard waist gun, but top turret gets the confirmed kill on that one. And that's it for that wave heading out of Rotterdam. Let's see. So here we go. Flying back home into Zone 3. We are now out of the target zone, but again we have to roll for fighter cover defense, and it's going to be poor heading back through Zone 3, just like it was heading out through this zone. So that's disappointing. How many attacking waves? Rolling on chart B1, a 3, modified -1 is a 2, tells us no waves. So 3 minus the 1 is 2. No waves. We make it through Zone 3. Now, recall, we still only are traveling on 3 engines, but with the bombs out, we can still stay in formation. So that is why there's no penalties for being out of formation right now with only 3 engines. With the bombs jettisoned, we're still good. So we're flying now through Zone 2. Same questions. What's our fighter cover like? It's good. And how many waves of attacking fighters? This is going to be modified -2. It's a 5, so 3 is what we're checking on. 1 wave. All right. So 1 more wave of fighters to get through before we can make it home. Let's find out what the wave is going to be. It's a 26, which tells us no attackers. Lucky roll. Fighters were driven off by other B-17s. So luckily we were in formation. Other B-17s helped us out. There will be no attackers. We're heading home. No attacks in Zone 1. We're going to land at the 8th Air Force Base. We're going to check the weather. The weather is a roll of 10. That tells us the weather is good. We have no landing modifiers. We roll for landing. We get a 9. And it tells us that crew and the B-17 are safe. So, landed safe. All right, so there we go. Mission 10 complete. 30% of our payload was on target. The plane made it back safely. 1 engine is going to need to be fixed before we are ready to head out on mission 11. But I'm happy to say for the first time in a couple of missions I haven't lost any crew members, so that's excellent. And our engineer got his first, actually he got his 2nd and 3rd kills of the campaign. Okay, so that was B-17 Queen of the Skies by Avalon Hill, designed by Glenn Frank, a game that's some 30 odd years old, and it's a simulation. I think you saw that. Not a lot of gameplay choices for the game player. You're going to be rolling dice. You're going to be moving the action along by referencing multiple charts. The charts, while numerous, it does get easy to flip through the charts and get to the table you're looking for as you need it. The manual is fantastic. One of the most concise, on point, well-written manuals that I've seen for any game. The sample mission and the sample charts that it provides made it really easy to come up to speed. It's a very procedural game. It makes it really easy to make a gaming aid for yourself, like I did, and like others have posted on Board Game Geek, a flow chart. Because there's a lot to keep track of in this game. It is very procedural. It's very clear the steps you take to move through the game. But as crap starts hitting the fan and your bomber starts taking damage, then all procedure is kind of out the window. There's a lot of different paths you can go. Issues will waterfall out from one shell hit, and you really do have to pay attention. You do have to make really good notes and make sure that you play the game correctly from that point forward based on what's just happened. For example, in the game I just played, you saw that the engine fire kind of threw me off because I never had that happen. So I had to consult the rules, consult the charts a bit, and make sure I was playing it right. And that will happen as you're picking up the game. As I mentioned, the game's a simulation. You're moving the game along by rolling the dice, which is kind of thematic when you think about it, because when you were an airman in one of those bombers, it was a die roll's chance that you were going to have a bullet with your name on it that day or not. So I really don't have a problem with that aspect of the game. The decisions that you have to make are easy decisions. Whether to turn the bomber around and head back to your base when you've taken a certain amount of damage to a certain part of your plane, it's pretty clear if that's the right decision or not, even if you're going to take yourself out of formation. There's always an easy way to tell what the less risky path forward is. When you're removing planes, enemy fighters from the playing field, it's a pretty clear decision on which ones you need to remove based on the odds of being able to hit them, their odds of being able to hit you, and the damage that that particular plane may inflict on your bomber. So just know that going in, if you're thinking about picking up this game, you're turning the pages of a book by rolling the dice to see what happens next. So it's a storytelling game. It's a thematic storytelling game. It focuses on the period between 1942 and 1943 when the Allies were experimenting with daylight strategic bombing. I recommend the movie 12 O'Clock High, which I loved. I was surprised how well made it was. It really explained the mental stress that commanding officers and crew members went through during this period of time. It does a good job of connecting you with that and sets the stage really well for playing this game. So highly recommend that film. The game itself, like I said, components are great. The manual's great. The box is cool. It's an old Avalon Hill style bookshelf box. The mounted gameplay board is great. The charts are well laid out and well written and clear. I have to mention there's a lot of errata in small print that comes on the back of one of the charts. You can find all of this information as well online. The life of this game online is outstanding. Board Game Geek still has many people playing this game, enjoying this game, modifying the gameplay, forming squadrons and going out on missions. So the game has a lot of life left in it for something that's 30 years old, over 30 years old. The gameplay for me only had two disappointing elements. The first was how much it bogs down when your bomber is taking damage. It does bog down. Checking multiple charts, then like I mentioned, that waterfall effect. One shell hit can have a major impact on the rules of the game moving forward. So there's things you'll have to take into account, like having to possibly drop out of formation, what happens when you have multiple engines out, etc. You'll notice that I had to stop and think a couple times when my engine was hit, when engine number 3 was hit, to make sure that I was taking care of that part of gameplay correctly. So, a lot of action from German fighters is really where the action is in this game. I'm sorry, a lot of interaction with the German fighters is that's the core action of this game. But if they make it through your defenses, it does bog down, for lack of a better term. And I'm sure the more you play the game, the quicker it becomes to resolve those issues and make mental notes and paper notes about how it's going to change the procedure of playing the game through the rest of the mission. The other part of the game that I was, disappointed with, for lack of a better term, are the bombing runs. It's 2 die rolls. It's a 1d6 roll to say if you're on target or off target, and a second roll of 2d6 to determine a percentage of bombs that hit their target, and that's it. Then you turn around and go home. I don't know what else could be done, but just kind of left me flat, that part of the game. The fun in this game, I think, is running multiple missions, seeing your plane survive time after time. I've been lucky. I've run 10 missions. My plane has made it back safely 10 out of 10 times. See how far I can make that run of luck last. I think I've had 7 crew member killed in action, 3 of them starboard waist gunners, so that seems to be my unlucky spot on the plane. And much like running a short sports game campaign, the idea in B-17 Queen of the Skies is to play through 25 missions, and in those after 25, see how well you did. See if you can make multiple crew members survive all 25 missions, because that basically is their ticket home. And also, same thing with the planes. See if you can get the planes to survive that many missions. The designer notes in the game admit to the fact that they ratchet up the intensity, they ratchet up the amount of combat situations you're going to face flying these missions than may have happened in real life. Fine with me. If that's a designer's choice, that's fine. You can find discussion on Board Game Geek about how accurate or inaccurate some of the assumptions made by the designer may be. Yeah, go ahead and do your own research on that. I've read them, and I can only focus on really the heroism of the people that were on the planes more than anything else, more than the statistics of how likely it was they were going to return home or not, because all I know is I'd be scared to death every time I got on that plane if that was my job. I liked the game. So final thoughts are, I like the game. It does a good job of making you see what it might have been like to be on board one of these bombers during this particular period of time. I'm thankful that I'm sitting here playing it on my tabletop and that I'm not one of those airmen. Playing games like this just reminds me of how thankful I am that we had those people fighting for us then and still have people fighting for us now. So it's another reason why I like playing these games, to remember how fortunate I am and we all are. Will it make its way to my gaming table often? Probably not. I think I'll make my way through the complete campaign. It's like starting a book, you need to finish it. But after that, I have so many other games on my shelf. It's a good game, but for me and for the games that I'm going to play, it's not in that top tier. That said, I'm so glad it exists because I think it went a long way to influencing a lot of the modern games that we have now. So for that, I thank Avalon Hill and I thank the designers of this game. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them for me in the comments. I hope this hands-on presentation was useful in learning more about B-17 Queen of the Skies. And I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks a lot.